Welcome to another episode of the Engine Business Talk Show. I'm your host, Catherine Cook, a leading business advisor and director of the Engine Limited. Today, we will discuss bolstering business resilience and building success, where we will dive into essential strategies and practices for strengthening your business. This topic really excites me as I love talking to everyone involved in a business about uncovering opportunity and mitigating risk for that business. I'm joined on the episode with Karit Lowell, partner from accounting firm Walker Whalen, and provider to the Engine, Peter Cook, director for multiple businesses, LLE Estate, Wine Time and Coffee News, and a business advisor to the Engine Limited. In today's episode, we will explore the vital role of the Engine Limited's Business Warrant of Fitness audit, considered the best annual investment for your business. To guide us through this insightful discussion, we'll refer to the Engine Limited services page on the Business Warrant of Fitness audit, which you can find at www.theengine.biz services business advice business warrant of fitness. That was a mouthful. So let's get started. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, how are you?
Karit, it's good to see you back in Auckland. You're between here and Sydney and back to Auckland and then back to Australia. So are your feet firmly on the ground today?
Yeah, I'm trying to have my feet firmly on the ground at the moment. Yeah, it's been challenging as one of my roles as a board of directors on the Walker Whalen Australasia. The six of us trying to run 20 firms in Australia and New Zealand. You know, I've got to be across the ditch and trying to help the Australians run the business and vice versa. So yeah, it's been challenging but interesting, learning heaps and growing with the role. So
yeah, well, I hear
great.
New Zealand got first class seats on a new loan plane, so you'll have to get that ride to Melbourne and move your meetings up there so you can be in first class. But anyway,
yeah, as long as they take me on a seat, I should be fine.
Keeping you grounded, that's for sure. Anyway, let's get right into this. So look, most business owners, when they hear the word audit, they freeze. I mean, Karit, you and I and Peter, we've all seen this happen. I should know, I was one of those business owners 15 years ago. It's a normal request when businesses have major growth that your funders, your stakeholders, they want to know a bit more about what's going on in your business, and especially when they haven't been across it. However, any business audit should be seen as an invaluable opportunity to thoroughly examine the intricate mechanics that power the engine of a company. It's not merely a routine check, but a strategic endeavour to dissect and understand every cog and gear that propels the organisation forward. This inspection enables a comprehensive assessment of financial health, operational efficiency, strategic alignment, risk mitigation strategy, and so much more. Much like a physician conducting a thorough examination to diagnose a patient's health, an audit dissects a business, identifying its strengths and weaknesses, potentially areas for enhancement, and ultimately prescribing the necessary strategies for optimal performance and enduring resilience. Let's start with you, Peter. Could you provide an in-depth overview of what the Business Warrant of Fitness from the Engine Limited entails, and how does it specifically contribute to enhancing business resilience and success?
Sure. The Business Warrant of Fitness offered by the Engine, it's really a comprehensive assessment and analysis of a business's sort of overall health and resilience. And it delves into 12 sections within a business, which includes the financial performance, operational efficiency, the marketing positioning, as well as risk management. And it's a meticulous evaluation, and by doing that, that evaluation of those components, businesses can really identify their strengths and weaknesses, and that helps them to make the informed decisions and implement strategies that they need to ensure growth and sustainability. And the audits that we do at the Engine will help them identify those blind spots and help them deliver some action plans.
Thanks, Peter. Look, there's no doubt I'm a fan of the Engine Business Warrant of Fitness audit. As experienced business advisors in business, we examine critical components which then contribute to a business's overall resilience and success. Our Business Warrant of Fitness covers key components, as Peter's just covered off, in terms of marketing, financial health, and all of that. But it also covers off fiscal management. And we're going to sort of come to you now, Karit. Can you give us a little bit of an understanding about what Walker Whalen does, and just talking about fiscal management? I mean, you're I have to say your partner colleague, Alana Stewart, was on our podcast last week talking about building solid foundations for business success, and so much good discussion we've had. So there's no pressure for you to match your standard. But correct, can you tell us a little bit about Walker Wayland, what Walker Wayland does and what it means to be a provider within the engine?
Yeah, sure, Catherine. Alana's definitely a better speaker than what I am, and she'll knock me out of the park any day. So full respect to her. I will not try and match her, but I'll try and see if I can live up to her expectations. So Walker Wellen is a proactive chartered accounting firm in the Auckland CPD. We have 5 partners, around about 30 staff members. We're part of Walker Wellen Australasia, is what we said before. We do the basics like preparing financial statements and tax returns, as most accountants would do. But our point of difference is that we actually look at the blind spots of a lot of the companies and try and deliver action plans towards those blind spots, pretty much in alignment with the engine's warrant of fitness. So we actually look at cash flow, do 3-way cash flow modeling, share valuations, due diligences if they've got a project like a buy and a sell of a business, etc. So, so our broad range of services in the financial sector covered. But the best thing about being part of the engine is we get access to a broader community and skill base of the members of the engine so that we can deliver better service to our clients. And that's actually a win-win situation for everyone. And that's why engines actually been really helpful in that regard.
Thanks, correct. We were just talking before we actually came on here just about how important it is that business owners are seeing regularly their accountants throughout the year, and especially right now where the market has got some challenges for many businesses around that fiscal management. So, correct, just coming back to the common challenges addressed by the Business Warrant of Fitness, or having any type of audit, such as really looking at the financial instability. How would an audit effectively address and mitigate challenges that business owners are having in that fiscal management?
Yeah, sure. So Business Warrant of Fitness plays a pivotal role in bolstering the fiscal management within a business by conducting a comprehensive examination of all financial aspects. Once you start deep diving into areas such as cash flow management, debt structure, profitability analysis, and financial risk management, you start to actually finding things underneath the hood of a business. So by evaluating these critical financial components, the audit helps identify areas for improvement and offers tailored recommendations to optimize financial resources and ensure fiscal stability for every business.
Thanks, Kara. And look, Peter, back to you now. Are you able to walk us through a step-by-step process of the Business Warrant of Fitness audit and how each step contributes to evaluating a business's resilience and performance?
Sure, Catherine. Look, the engine, we're a holistic business advisory company, which means we look at the entire business, not just the parts in isolation. And the Business Warrant of Fitness audit is a 6-week intensive deep dive through the whole company, looking at those 12 areas I touched on before. So those include operations and processes, innovation, succession, fiscal planning, marketing and sales. And it involves a really thorough examination of financial statements, operational processes, and a range of other components in the business, including strategic planning. And the holistic approach enables a comprehensive analysis of the business's current state. And the audit process helps include the collection of data, analysis of that, and the identification of strengths and weaknesses, which then helps to formulate some recommendations that can then be presented to the client as actionable insights to help them enhance their resilience and performance.
Wow, that's very robust. Look, while we're still on the subject of this Business Warrant of Fitness, Peter, if you could maybe just provide some examples on how the Business Warrant of Fitness caters to the unique needs and challenges specific to different industries.
Yeah, sure. Look, the engine understands that each industry has its own set of challenges and requirements. That's very important. And the Business Warrant of Fitness is customized to take into account those industry-specific benchmarks, including regulations, market dynamics, for example. And one example, some recommendations for a technology company might focus on innovation and scalability, whilst recommendations for a healthcare organization might emphasize compliance and patient care. So they're very different depending on the industry. The customization that comes from the Warrant of Fitness audit ensures that those businesses get tailored strategies that are relevant to their industry. But we still do the deep dive into the 12 steps, which more often than not uncovers a lot more. So the action plan tends to include all of the findings across those 12 steps. And then it results in a stepped and agreed plan by the business on what they're going to do and be accountable for that implementation.
Thanks, Peter. I always consider a business warrant of fitness audit as the bedrock for effective strategy formulation and seamless succession planning within the business realm. It's quite interesting, actually, when I talk to businesses about succession planning, and most people are like, oh, I'm not going to be leaving this business for a while. And you know, when you start out in business, and I know we've talked about this before as well, people never think about what the end game is. So, you know, obviously you've got to think about, you know, your succession planning and your strategy as a compass guiding a company through uncharted territory, offering a meticulous analysis of critical aspects such as market positioning, competitive landscape, internal organisation capability. It should be an ongoing evolution review. And a comprehensive assessment will unravel the insight, a bit akin to a Northern Star for strategic decision makes, illuminating, you know, unique value propositions and competitive advantage crucial for crafting strategies aligned with an ever-evolving market dynamics. And we were just talking about that just before we came on, just about how the dynamics in the market are moving in all sorts of different directions. So back to you, Karit, in what ways does a business warrant of fitness audit assist in shaping effective strategies and succession plans for businesses? And how can these strategic insights help in long-term growth and sustainability?
Absolutely, Catherine. A business warrant of fitness audit serves as an essential cornerstone for effective strategy formulation and seamless succession planning within any business. What I mean by that, to elaborate further, an audit profoundly impacts strategy development by looking closely into market positioning. By gaining a deep understanding of where the business stands within its industry, it can identify optimal strategies that capitalize on its strengths and opportunities. This comprehensive understanding helps in crafting strategies and not only defend the business against competitive threats, but also position it as an industry leader, ready to innovate and adapt to market changes, you know, as and when things happen. And as you said before, you know, we are in this evolving market condition at the moment where there's a lot of moving parts. It's important that we stay on top of it. And moreover, the auditor actually assesses the internal capabilities through a SWOT analysis, allowing businesses to identify their internal strengths and weaknesses. Armed with this knowledge, companies can fortify their strengths and mitigate their weaknesses, thus paving the way for more effective strategic planning, because that's quite important. Additionally, by evaluating leadership effectiveness and talent readiness, the audit aids in succession planning. Identifying and nurturing potential leaders within the organization ensures a smooth transition of leadership, crucial for maintaining stability and preserving the business trajectory. In summation, the strategic insights generated by a business warrant of fitness audit, coupled with a robust succession plan, serve as a solid foundation for sustainable growth and long-term business success. More or less, it's a roadmap, Catherine. It steers the business towards its objectives, irrespective of, you know, who they are, where they are in the process. The audit significant lies not only in the audit itself, but in leveraging its insights to architect a future that thrives in the ever-changing landscape of business.
Oh, Karit, I love how we use that language of you know, thrive. I thrive on talking about sustainable growth and long-term success, because that's really what it's about. A lot of people in business are in the trenches and they're just in the now, but in the now is not going to prevent or consider growth opportunities or mitigate the risk of anything that could come along. So could you perhaps share a specific real life success story or case study where businesses successfully benefited from any type of business warrant of fitness audit and outcomes they achieved?
Yeah, I've got dozens of examples, as you would appreciate, but one that probably pops into mind at the moment is, say, about 5 years ago, we had a business owner at, you know, in his early 60s thinking, okay, I should retire. He must have heard somebody over drinks to say that you should remove yourself out of a business, put in a general manager, so that when a new person comes to buy the business, they're not actually buying the owner, they're buying the actual business, the goodwill. So he decided to put in a general manager without any structure, without any strategy in place. Yeah, and not actually aligning the general manager with his own vision as to where he was going and where he wanted to get the company in. Once the general manager came in, he was not the right fit for the organization. He came from a different industry. His management style was different. He didn't have the right mandates in place. So in no time, the company actually changed. The culture changed. You know, the environment that people worked in changed. Staff left. Customers actually didn't like the new guy in town. Sales dropped, and the company actually started experiencing cash flow difficulties. That's when we came on board. We actually were brought in to say, hey, I had a fantastic business. I was going to retire in a couple of years. This was my game plan. And we said, oops, you're not going to be retiring in a couple of years. So we had to dive in and do a business WOF audit, pretty much reviewing all of the different areas that we've just spoken about. But more importantly, we've delved into the financial side of things and the cash flow difficulties that they were finding. We identified many areas in there that actually needed attention. It took us a good 3 years to fix it, to get to the stage where his sales were about 4 times better than what it was when he was a sole trader by himself before the general manager came in. The company's actually got 120% better in profit results, has a good cash flow, the owner's happy, the staff are happy, the customers are happy, and we are now in the process of dressing up the business for a sale in the next financial year. So, you know, good things take time. It doesn't take long to damage a business, but it does take a long time to actually fix it. It's a bit like relationships.
Yeah,
that we're all in.
absolutely. Yeah, look, absolutely correct. And you know, we don't have a magic wand. We can't come and just fix everything that's been there happening for quite some time. So we've got to actually educate business owners that you've got to be on top of it. You've got to actually have the right people around you working with you. And I think all of us could probably spend about a good couple of months just doing case studies on a whole lot of examples. And there'd be examples that would happen again going forward with other people, but you know, it's the same type of challenges and problems at just different times. Peter, do you have an example that you could share?
I guess there's numerous, examples and success stories where businesses, after completing the Business Warrant of Fitness and implementing the recommendations, have really achieved some great results. And I guess there's a couple of examples, being a manufacturing company that, as a result of the WOF, was able to implement change and optimization to their processes that improved their efficiency and production by 30%. And that's a real key when you're in manufacturing, is improving that. And another was a technology startup that actually doubled its market reach through some strategic shifts that came out of the recommendations in the Business Warrant of Fitness. And these are just a couple of examples of real cases where there is a tangible impact that the audit can have on your business. It's still dependent on accountability and commitment by business owners to implement, but when done in conjunction with the support you get from the engine and our partners, the results are there to be seen.
Thanks, Peter. And I've got a few success stories of my own that highlight the transformative impact of a Business Warrant of Fitness audit in developing a leadership team and revealing potential risk for legal compliance failure. I want to start with a mid-sized manufacturing company that's been steadily growing, but recognise they need to fortify its leadership team and ensure legal compliance adherence to mitigate the risk. They decided to undergo a Business Warrant of Fitness audit offered by the engine. The audit scrutinised their operations and identified potential risk related to legal compliance, particularly in environmental regulations and workplace safety standards. There's quite a lot of regulations out there that you start out in business and you don't even know. I've actually been working with a business where we had to go and get electrical certification for the Wi-Fi capability within their product. The business owner had no idea that they needed to do that, and obviously the emissions that came from that product needed to be at a certain rate. So there's certainly a lot of challenges that have been putting on people from an environmental point of view. But in this situation, the audit raised a red flag concerning outdated safety protocols that were no longer in line with current legal requirements. This revelation was a wake-up call for the company, and in response, the company swiftly initiated an internal compliance review and engaged the engine to work with their legal experts to update policies and conducted comprehensive employee training to ensure compliance with the latest regulation. And by addressing these legal compliance risks proactively, the company did not only avoid potential penalties, but also created a safer work environment for its employees. Now, one could say that they could have actually done the implementation themselves, but by engaging the engine, it means that that can be ring-fenced as a project so the business can continue on its journey with what they're needing to do and then re-implemented back into the company. So, Peter, perhaps you can talk about leadership findings. You've been in a number of leadership roles, so maybe if you've got an example around leadership findings.
Yeah, I mean, audits really help highlight areas where the leadership team can enhance their effectiveness. And in a particular example, the organisation that we've worked with, it assessed the individual strengths and skill gaps in the leadership team and helped recommend and targeted some training programs. And the company took these insights really seriously, and as a result, we're really prepared and committed to invest in the development of their leaders and introduced a number of initiatives. But this included workshops, mentorship programs, and some specialised training sessions facilitated with the engine, continuing on the journey with them. So over the following months, the leadership team really demonstrated some huge improvement, not just in decision making and team collaboration, but also in their strategic planning and thinking. And their sort of skills were strengthened, and this was evident as a result of some increased productivity, a lift in employee morale, and also just their overall business performance. And in the end, the company's, by being proactive, it highlighted and it was fueled by the Business Warrant of Fitness audits insights, resulted in them having just a much more effective leadership team and really compliant and secure operational environment. So, the improvements that come out of the implementation from the audits really propelled the company to achieve its sustained growth, help its reputation, and just build that resilience. And this is just one story that can illustrate how the tangible and transformative benefits that the Business Warrant of Fitness laws can bring to an organisation can have real positive impacts.
Yeah, look, when you're in the four walls of your business, you only know what you know, and it's really important to get that audit to get a different perspective. So let's look at the rapidly changing business landscape. I mean, we've just had the elections and, we've got interest rates going up. So, we also here at the Engine, we need to ensure that the Business Warrant of Fitness remains relevant. And so we're constantly looking at how we adapt to evolve to industry trends and emerging challenges. We do this by continually monitoring the trends and the regulatory changes and emerging best practices. And the Business Warrant of Fitness is updated regularly to ensure its alignment with the evolving business landscape. This proactive approach allows businesses to receive up-to-date recommendations and strategies that are in sync with the current market dynamics. And regular updates and adaptability are key aspects that keep the Business Warrant of Fitness relevant and valuable to businesses. Correct. What does Walker Whalen do to keep abreast of change and to be relevant?
Lots, to be honest. As part of our job, we need to make sure that we are up to date with lots of changes. That includes legislative changes, market changes, etc. So we do have a lot of seminars and webinars that we actually need to attend as part of being a member of the Chartered Accountants Institute. We need to do minimum CPD hours. All of our staff need to do minimum CPD hours. So we attend seminars and webinars. And more importantly, outside of this, we do a lot of outside functions and network with investment advisors, lawyers, etc., so that we are very much up to date with what's happening out there. Just as an example, yesterday I was at Eden Park for a lunch function, which was held by Craig's Investment Partners, and they were giving their State of the Nation presentation as to where the world is heading and what it's likely to be in the next couple of years. So exploring all of the different options out there, where the housing market is going to go, what the mortgage rates are going to likely do, inflation, what are the things that as business owners we need to be looking out for, etc. So it's an ongoing job. It's never ending to be on top of all of the things, and it's quite good, because when the time comes right, you've got the answers for your clients and the solutions for your clients. It could be as simple as, I had a question yesterday of a bookkeeper who emailed me to say, hey, this client of yours, they don't actually keep any receipts. Everything's less than $100. They've got multiple transactions. They do lots of teas and coffees, but don't keep receipts. Then I gave them a copy of the legislation for the change that said from the 1st of April 2023, you don't need to keep receipts for under $200 as long as you've got something to back yourself up, or like a bank statement, transaction, etc., to verify what you're doing. So it's just small things like that. You just got to be up to date so that you've got answers on the spot, make it happen, and we carry on life. But yes, there's a lot of work that is required to ensure that we keep on top of our game.
Yeah, look at it. You mentioned relationships, and it's so important, because it's when you're building those relationships, that's when you get additional knowledge, and that knowledge is just so invaluable. Just being able to trust people, to to talk to them about things. Obviously not sort of confidentiality, but just to be able to share that information is absolutely crucial. We're just going to explore a couple of quick fireside chat questions relative to the news. In July this year, One News reported companies filing for liquidations are up 35% on year. In fact, the New Zealand Gazette reported on the 13th of October 2023 that there were 74,000, nearly 75,000 notices found under winding up liquidations. I mean, that's just staggering. Let's start with you, Karit. I know there is a real need for this audit. What are your thoughts on actions required by businesses to avoid liquidation? And if you can give us the warts and all.
Yeah, sure. Get in there early. Don't wait for a crisis to happen before you start looking at the business. It's always good to have an audit done when the business is good, because you want to make it better and avoid the shortfalls that come around in the future. So, do your cash flow, do your budgets, do your cash flow modeling, see what your commitments are, see if there's anything that you can actually streamline out of that. Go down your pipeline of work. Can you actually do better in that? You need to focus more on marketing. Whatever you do, try and get in early, because the later you live it, the higher the risk of a liquidation. And then people like the IRD, etc., who were actually not doing anything during the COVID years, they've all started to pick up their pen and paper and start looking at businesses and say which ones are a big risk, and started to put them down. So proper practices, get in there early, just make sure that you're not part of that 74,000 statistic in the Gazette. Quite important.
Yeah, look, getting in early is not just when you're about to drop a bomb. Getting in early should be an invested part of your business, that you do this on an ongoing basis. So thanks for that, Karit. I want to circle back to you, Peter. Latitude Financial Services had an extreme breach of their customer data this year. However, ABC, which is a worldwide media medium out of the US, reported customers' frustration. It went all the way to the US. Customers' frustration over a lack of communication. Peter, how can the engine Business Warrant of Fitness assist a business in a situation like this?
Yeah, I guess that example raised the fact that, having clear risk management and communication strategies are really critical if you want to maintain that customer trust. And the Warrant of Fitness can play a real crucial role in highlighting those incidents that need prevention, and also how to handle them effectively. I guess the first thing is that the audit conducts that comprehensive assessment of a company's risk management strategies to identify where the vulnerabilities are and help recommend strategies to mitigate them, particularly things like data breaches, where a thorough audit will assess those security measures and highlight any weak points and help make recommendations for strengthening that before anything eventuated. I think also effective communication is fundamental during a crisis. And the Business Warrant of Fitness emphasises how important it is to have a well-defined crisis communication plan. Everyone needs to know what they've got to do, who's saying what, and what's the messaging and the consistency out to your customers. And having a good plan means that there's protocols, everything's transparent. And it emphasises also that clear, accurate, empathetic communication is so important if you want to maintain trust with your clients. So businesses like Latitude, if they had a really robust crisis communication strategy in place, can swiftly and effectively address those concerns and keep customers informed. And overall, the Warrant of Fitness just helps businesses to develop the necessary tools and strategies to manage those risks and ensure they've got that crisis communication plan. And that helps contribute to a more resilient and trustworthy business.
Thanks, Peter. And just like that, we are actually out of time, but one quick hot tip from you both on our podcast topic today on bolstering business resilience and building success. Let's start with you first, Peter.
Oh, look, I think, make a regular Warrant of Fitness audits on your business, just like you do with your car. Make it a priority to assess your business overall health and help identify vulnerabilities or areas for improvement. And these audits will help give you those insights you need that will help you focus on those core fundamentals for business, including, financial stability, risk management, etc. And by addressing the things that you identify in the audit, you can then optimize your performance, manage your risks, and have a really clear direction strategically for growth.
Thanks, Peter. And Corinne, if we can get one from you, a hot tip, and hopefully you can put that three-way cash flow in, which I'm passionate about what you do in there.
Oh, very much so. And I'd actually support what Peter has said, give it the best priority that you could get, on top of your priority thing, get a Warrant of Fitness, analyze and optimize your fiscal health through the Business Warrant of Fitness audit. Engage us early, do your three-way cash flow model, because that's actually so important. People just do one ways, which is just your profit and loss. They do a budget, but they do not actually see the other items that have an impact on their balance sheet. And that's why a three-way cash flow model is so important. And that would actually assess the cash flow management, the debt structure, the profitability, the financial risk that your business carries. The audit will give you invaluable insights into your financial ability and stability and helps identify areas of improvement. And by taking those proactive steps to optimize the financial resources, you'll manage debt efficiently and strengthen the financial risk mitigation strategies. You position your business better. You actually have a more resilient and prosperous future. And whilst others are actually on the back set trying to figure out where the world is going, you're in the front set with your three-way cash flow model. You prioritize your fiscal health, ensure a strong foundation. You've got yourself enabled to make informed decisions as and when that happens. You'll weather the economic fluctuations quite easily, or at least with the knowledge, and you're going to sustain long-term growth. And that's the difference between a business that is short-term focused versus what is long-term focused. Most business owners actually go into business not knowing a lot of these things. They go in because they're a good plumber or a good electrician, but knowing all of the different areas and the different hats that they need to wear, it's actually quite hard. So, if they get alongside us with the engine, we can make sure that we steer them in the right direction.
Thanks, Corinne. Thanks, Corinne. And we really enjoy our professional and personal relationship with Walker Whalen. My last hot tip is a no-brainer. Engage now for a Business Warrant of Fitness audit from the engine and take us on the journey further to implement the recommended strategy swiftly and effectively. When you continue to work with the engine for the implementation, we'll ensure those findings are prioritised, which can significantly impact your business's long-term success. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Bolstering Business Resilience and Building Success. We hope this discussion has shed light on the vital role of the Engine Limited Business Warrant of Fitness and how it can be your best annual investment for your business. I'm a bit tongue-tied today. I don't know why. Maybe I haven't actually woken up properly. Do reach out to find out more and ensure your investment, time, money, and resources are secured and growing by working with us. Watch out for further podcasts from us with more insights and strategies to strengthen your business. Until next time, stay resilient and keep thriving. And we also have our podcast now available on Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio. So do go and connect with those, and you can listen to us while you're actually driving. Corinne, thank you again for your time. Peter, you guys have a great day.